Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live stream. So, if you were around last week, I shared with you that I was not only going to continue today, but I would be continuing into next month, just sort of looking at different AI tools that we can use for all aspects of video creation, marketing, strategy, content creation, whatever you want to call it. So I'm continuing that today. And another thing, just before I get started, is that I've sent out a request to my email list that if you have any AI tools that you would like me to explore with you. I am not professing to know everything about AI tools when it comes to content creation and video creation and marketing and all of that. But I, just like everyone else, loves to explore and discover things. And that's kind of why I'm coming in today, is because I want to do that with you. So if you're game to spend a half an hour or so exploring a tool together, then I'm up for that. And I can share with you in some instances how exactly I'm using the tool and how maybe you can share how you're using the tool for yourself. So with that said, today we are going to be focused on, let me see if I can get the title up. We are focused on Notebook LM. For those of you who are familiar with, and some of you may already be familiar with Notebook LM, it's been around for a minute. It's by Google. I discovered it probably about a couple of months ago, I guess, and have just been dabbling a little bit. Whenever I come across a new AI tool, I'm always just trying to figure out, how can it be incorporated into what I do for my business? Is there a way that I can utilize it for my clients? And then thirdly, how can I use this when it comes to video? So whether it's keyword research or researching, or if it's content creation, or if it's the marketing piece to it. So Notebook LM has been getting a lot of interest on YouTube because of one particular feature that they have that is easy to see where the video aspect of it comes in. So I'm not going to belabor the point any longer. I'm actually going to share my screen with you. And hopefully this time I think I activated the audio. So if I need to play any audio, you should be able to hear it, unlike what happened last week. But again, if you guys have any tools that you would like me to play around with, please let me know so that, let me get rid of all of these banners. Bear with me so that you can see everything. So Notebook LM is in the experimental phase still. As you can see, it says Notebook LM experiment on the screen, and it is designed so that you can use AI to help you generate a myriad of information. Now, unlike ChatGPT, you don't go into Notebook LM and just ask it to do things for you. You can give it content, you can give it papers, documents, text, whatever, files. You can give it information and then ask it to extract something from that information for you. So let's just go in over here, and pardon my looking over in this direction. And so as you can see, I've been experimenting with it a little bit. So the way that I'm trying to figure out how I can use it, like I mentioned, is it going to make my day-to-day life any easier? And if there's anything I can do to incorporate video in there. So this one is one that I wanted to share with you because this was something that sort of allowed me to play around with the potential video capabilities with it. So the way that it works is once you open up, and I should probably go back here so that you can see me open up a notebook. So you click on the plus button to open up a notebook. And like I said, you can't just start asking it questions. You need to give it some resources so that it has something, a basis, if you will, to start from. So here you can upload or drag and drop any kind of file, and they can be a PDF, a text, Markdown. I have no idea what that is, or an audio file. Oh, a Markdown, I think, is a transcript. It's a type of transcript. At any rate, you can also then upload Google Docs, Google Slides, a website link, a link to a YouTube video, or you can simply just copy and paste the information. And they do give you a source limit of 50, which I think is pretty impressive. So once it takes in all of that information, it then looks like this, where you can save notes and all of the sources that you're bringing in comes in here. I do highly recommend, I didn't do it here, but I do highly recommend that you name your source. So this was, I believe, I believe this was a report. So I can name this report. And then I think this other one was a transcript. So I would, like I said, whatever the name of your source is, make sure that you're putting that in. If it's checked, then whatever you type in here in the chat is where it's going to be pulling the information from. So this is the aspect to it where it was, for me anyway, similar to a Chat GPT or a Copilot or, you know, Google's Gemini, whatever it is. But the other piece of information you can see over here, hopefully you can see it. It says 2 sources. So those are the 2 sources that I've selected over here. And so you can now start asking it questions to extract from those 2 sources. But what it also does is it gives you some ideas that it's going to give you suggested questions or suggested ideas that you can ask so that you can get even more information from the resources that you put up here. So you can come up here and you can select on any of these, and it usually gives you about 3 of them. And then you can see down here, let me get rid of this one. You can see that I've already done some information. If you want to get more detailed information, you can click here to where it says Notebook Guide. And this is where you have the suggested questions. But then this is where you can also see what you can create by using this application. So you can create from the resources that you've uploaded an FAQ document, a study guide, a table of contents, a timeline, and a briefing document. And then right here, they give you a summary. So if you wanted to click on FAQ, then it's going to generate frequently asked questions about whatever the resources are. So say, for example, the way that I see that that could be helpful is, say, for example, you have just created a digital course and you have the transcripts from all of the videos that you've created. You could then upload those transcripts and then get from there a frequently asked questions document that you could then use on your website. Or you could even do the same thing with your website. You can import the link from your website and then ask it to extract frequently asked questions that would probably come up based on the content that's on your website. So here was, I don't even know how long this document is. It's not terribly long. It's probably about 10,000 words or something, or characters. And so it has its own set of frequently asked questions, a total of 8 of them. So if you want, you can, use that as something that is going to be valuable to you. If you want to use something like one of the suggested questions, it says, discuss the key motivations behind Garrett Morgan's invention of the 3-position traffic light signal. So you can click on that. And again, this is where it starts to look a little bit similar to a Chat GPT. And then from here, once it's taking the resources that you have there. But I believe that if, depending on where it is that you have pulled in the information, it will also link back to the website if it's from a website. So for here, it has, three motivations, if you will. So you can either save the note or you can copy it and put it somewhere else. But if you want it to stay together in this notebook, then you would want to save the note. The one thing that I will mention is that if you have a long chat, you have multiple questions that you've gone back and forth with, and as you're doing this, you forgot to save any of them. If you get out of this notebook and then you come back in, the entire chat disappears. So there is no way for you to capture that again. So it's very important when you are doing it for you to decide, oh, well, yes, that's something I want to hold on to. So let me just save it. I just now save just in case. I can always come back in and delete, but I always just save just so that I don't accidentally, because I can tend to try to multitask and not be very successful with it. So again, let's go back here to the notebook guide. Again, this is where you can have all of these are standard documents that it will help you create, but you can ask it to do anything else as well. Now, this is the piece that everybody is going crazy over, and it's the audio overview. And all you would need to do to activate this is click on load. Now, it takes a few moments. I can't remember. I've tried to time it, but it takes a few moments in order for you to get it to, I think I've done this before, so that might be why it came up so fast. So as you can see, you have a play button and it tells you how long this audio track is. So this audio track, based on the sources that I put in, is about 7.5 minutes-ish. This is now, when I play it, it's going to be a conversation that is done by two AI voices. One's going to be a male and the other one is a female. And they're basically having a conversation about the content that I've just signified is the resources for this particular notebook. So I'm going to play it so that you can hear. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I want you to hear it.
Okay, so picture this. Rush hour in any major city, right? But there are no traffic lights.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just utter chaos. Cars, bikes, pedestrians all vying for the same space, honking horns, near misses everywhere. It'd be a nightmare, wouldn't it?
It would be like a free-for-all.
Absolutely. And it's incredible to think that this was actually the reality before a brilliant inventor named Garrett Morgan came along.
So that is essentially and please comment if you have any comments, questions, if you want me to showcase anything, because I'm still playing around and learning this myself. But for the most part, it always kind of the formatting of this audio podcast narration, I don't know what you want to call it. I think they call it like a deep dive conversation, is always going to be very similar. And it's always the same male voice and the same female voice. So what people are doing is, a lot of people are downloading these audio tracks and then trying to turn them into videos. Or maybe in some instances, they're just simply using it as a podcast. So you go over here to these three dots to the right, and you can then just download this to your computer so that you can do whatever you want to do with it. So one thing I was trying to figure out, and if anybody that is watching this live or on replay can share if there are other places where you can get some more information on this, I'm trying to figure out if there is a way that you could separate the male and the female from the audio track that they're on, so that the male is on his own track and the female is on her own track. And the best reason for that, or the logic behind wanting to do that, is if you do want to turn this into a conversation between two avatars, you would probably need to separate the tracks so that you can assign one avatar one track and the second avatar the second track. What I've seen is that it's a very tedious manual process. Granted, these videos or tracks are not super, super long, but it's too long for me to deal with at 7 minutes. So one thing that I tried to do, because I'm such a Kapwing fan, is I wanted to see, can I take the audio track from that and somehow use that so that I can create a video from there. So that's where I'm bringing in Kapwing. So with Kapwing, what I'm going to attempt to do is bring in the track for the purpose of getting a transcript of it first, and then turning that into a video. Now, bear with me why I'm doing that. I want as much as I can to automate this process. So I've gotten the audio track from Notebook. I then come into Kapwing, and I'm going to, in fact, let me see. I'm going to try and see where I can track this down because, all right. Okay, so the audio track is in. Now, the reason why I need to get a transcript of this is because in order for me to have Kapwing create an AI video from scratch, I need to have a transcript that caps or at least has no more than 5,000 characters, I believe is the total on there. And so if I just transcribe this entire video or a soundtrack and uploaded it, it won't do it for me. So I would need to create the file, and obviously there's no visuals on this. And so what I would then want to do is come over, and I, just so that you know, I clicked in the timeline area. I did not click the actual track. I just clicked in the timeline area, and then I went up to Smart Tools, and I'm going to Transcript Editor. And then I'm going to generate a transcript from this. And then basically what I'm going to do is edit by transcript. So, and I'm only going to do this because I need to shorten this. And I will show you the number of characters in a second, but I want the ending to kind of still be there. So let's start from here. So you're going to be able to see on the timeline how much covering. And I want this to be in the 3 minute. Let's go a little bit shorter. Let's go there. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to hit delete. So you can see that that is my video. From there, I'm going to come up here to this icon that says it has the down arrow, and I'm going to download my transcript. So I'm going to download the transcript, and I'm going to, okay. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to open this one up just so that I have it over there. So I have the audio here. I now need to go back out and create a new document. And I didn't need to necessarily do that. I could have probably just opened it up by creating a new project, but regardless, I'm here. So we're going to come down here, and this is where you can type in any topic if you want, or if you click in here, you'll see that you can do an article, a document to a video, a script to a video, and so forth. One thing that I'm going to ask Kapwing to do is to have audio to video. So if you can bring in the audio track, it can transcribe it for you, and then also keep the audio track and then create a video from there. That's going to just be absolutely amazing. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open up that transcript. There are a couple, I'm not going to correct everything. I think this is a little, or it's just, oh, utter. That's what it was. utter. Okay, I'm not going to make any more changes. So now I'm going to copy this. And this tells you it's a little over 4,100 characters. And so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to paste it. And then I'm going to click on that bar. And I don't know, you probably cannot see, but right up here, it says 4107/5000. So this only allows you to do 5,000 characters. I know that 7+ minute video or audio was easily close to 10,000 characters. So I have it in here. Now, from here, you do have the ability to now select what kind of video that you want to create. So unfortunately, you have to you can't not create an audio. So you would have to just say, for example, leave it at the default because I'm going to get rid of it and keep my original audio from Notebook. And then here you can select what kind of size you want, whether you want to have it vertical or landscape or what have you. And let's just use this one. And then you can choose the style of captioning that you want to use. So that is totally up to you. I'm going to just leave it at default. And then you click on generate video script. So while that is going, because that's going to take a minute, I'm going to come back here because this is supposed to be about Notebook LM. So the other things that you can do with Notebook LM, besides using that is definitely a tool that you can use. If you wanted, say, for example, you have a webinar, it would be probably a great example. I always encourage anyone that I know, my clients, my prospects, if you're ever doing a webinar, whether it's on your own or as a guest, make sure that you get a recording of that webinar so that you have a copy of it, not of you just rehearsing, but you are actually recording it. And you could upload it here as a source. And then from there, you could, this is where like multiple or repurposing content can come in. This is where Notebook can also help in repurposing because you could create a study guide based on your webinar. And so let's just look and see what a study guide would look like, just so that you can see what kind of content would be available. And let me just come over here and check. All right, we're 3/4 of the way through. And so here, okay, so this is a short answer quiz. So if you are certainly a teacher or if you are doing anything for college, this might be an option for you. I don't necessarily have instances where I would need that per se, but if you want to gamify any of your content so that you can get the encouragement and engagement from your audience, this would definitely be something that would be beneficial to you. So let's look at another option, table of contents, timeline. Timeline, I think, I don't know if I've ever, I guess timeline would refer to if in the sources that you're talking about, they're referring to timeframes. And that's exactly what it is. So because this does have timeline of events, you can do that. So if for whatever reason you needed to have that bit of information, you could get that as well. So let's check back to see it's done. Okay, so now from here, it has the transcript and it has the subtitles. Now, what the issue is here is that because all we did was upload the transcript, the audio from the original notebook file is no longer on here. So listen.
Okay, so picture rush hour in any major city, right? But there are no traffic lights. Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so because of that, this has one narrator because it's on one track, just doing all the parts. So it doesn't make sense and it doesn't sound like it makes sense. So this is where the second or the original comes in. So I am going to bring in the soundtrack again. Or the audio track. I shouldn't call it a soundtrack. Where did it go? Let's do that again. Not sure what happened. Oh, so sorry. I did not mean to do it that way. What I forgot to share with you, that was the mistake that I made, is on when I downloaded the transcript, I should have also downloaded the audio file. So that's where I made a mistake. So let's see if this is not the same audio track, but I just want you to get an understanding of how it would look. So we would do this. We would add the original audio track to the bottom, and then we would get rid of this audio track and the time, or not the time code, the subtitles as well. And then you could just bring this back up here. Now you can see that the timing is off, but I'll just play it so that you can hear it.
All right, so picture this. It's the early 1900s, and cities are absolutely booming.
Yeah,
So what you could do here is once you click on that track to get the subtitles again, you would come back up to the subtitle folder or tab, and then you would say auto subtitle, and then it will create subtitles based on this track. Now, because I did not download the correct audio track, it's not going to, the timing with the imagery is not going to be the same. But if I did do that, it would have come out to be roughly about this long, and it would have matched the imagery a lot better. So once you see the subtitles complete, then you'll get an understanding. But this is the only workaround that I could envision in terms of being able for this to work if you wanted to have this be as automated a possibility or a situation as possible. So let's play this.
All right, so picture this. It's the early 1900s, and cities are absolutely booming.
Yeah, bustling with life.
But instead of our modern traffic systems, it's total chaos. We're talking horse-drawn carriages, those very first automobiles hitting the scene.
Obviously,
just trying to
a lot of the visuals don't match because this happens to be a period thing, like a period piece. So it would have to require some specialized looking for some of the imagery, like horse-drawn carriages and things like that. It's not that those images or footage doesn't exist. It just would take some extra looking around for that, as opposed to just having it automated. But this would be the fastest way that I would think you would be able to create a video. Now, obviously the topic I chose was too dated for you to get an understanding of how it would work ordinarily. But if it's on your content and your content is modern day content, then it is an easy way for you to be able to create a video automatically. Or as automatically as possible, because you're using Notebook.lm, and then you're exporting the audio, bringing it into a tool like Kapwing. And there are other tools that you could probably use. I would say if you wanted it, or if you wanted to use it for the purpose of automating the process of creating a video, it would have to be a tool that can do auto videos, which would be like Kapwing or InVideo and tools like that. Drawing a blank at the other ones. And if you guys can help me out and share it in the comments below what they would be. But that's one way of using this particular audio overview feature. Another way that you can use Notebook is if you want to do any kind of research. So if you have content, let's say you're trying to come up with an idea for your first quarter of 2025 videos that you want to create. So you could pull together all of your blog posts or the content that's on your website or videos on your YouTube channel And you could then put those in, upload those as resources, and then come up with a list of things that you can do. So like here, I added, in this instance, these are all of I only went live in September 3 times instead of 4. They kind of sort of, I try to keep my months on a theme. So it kind of had a little bit of a theme put together on this. So I could go to my notebook guide. And so here are some suggested questions. What are the key challenges that Edie faced in establishing and growing her video marketing business, and how did she overcome them? How has Edie's personal journey influenced her approach to video marketing and her work with clients, etc.? So you could do, ask these questions as well. And then you could also, again, still generate an audio overdrive, but you could also come over here, and in addition to asking these key questions, which could also give you more information, you could come up with, let's see what a briefing document looks like. So you could have ways of trying to ask it questions that can help you then generate a list of video ideas, which I'm going to ask it in a minute. So this was the briefing overview. Okay, so this was the key themes were power of vulnerability, overcoming fears and building confidence, embracing the ever-evolving world of video, inspiring and empowering entrepreneurs, important ideas and facts, Edie's background, and well, that's not that important. The 3 big struggles: self-doubt, imposter syndrome, videophobia, the path to overcoming challenges. So this is quite detailed down to the tools. So I could say, for example, let's see, I'm going to see if I can say create 12 video ideas based on on this topic for my YouTube channel in 2025 that will help my target audience. Oops. So let's see what it'll say in that instance. And I don't think a question, or these are more questions than prompts. And so I don't know if necessarily prompting and prompt engineering comes into play. If anybody has an answer on that, please do share that with me. But I'm not sure if prompting is as crucial and as important to Notebook.lm as it is to a ChatGPT or to a Copilot or to a Gemini or any of those other ones. So, okay, here are 12 video ideas based on overcoming video phobia. Video idea number 1, share your personal journey of overcoming video phobia, highlighting specific techniques and strategies that helped you. Create a tutorial on how to feel more confident on camera, covering aspects like body language, scripting, practice. So I think these are pretty good. So if you're sitting there, and so many of us do this because I do this myself, and occasionally I catch myself and recognize that, what the heck is wrong with you? If you're like stumped and you don't know what videos to create, I am sure that each and every one of us have blog posts, have documents where you've either come up with ideas and maybe squashed them for whatever reason, because we all, or most of us, have imposter syndrome, and you're like, at the time it sounded and seemed like a good idea, and then we chicken out. But I'm sure that you have documents on content that you've created, content that you've researched, information that you found could be beneficial to your audience. Maybe it's someone that is, however much more advanced in your niche than you are, and you use them as a resource of information. And you can add in all of that and then ask Notebook from there to fill in and give you some content ideas, or maybe ideas to create a course or to create a webinar or some kind of content like that. Even maybe a blog post you can use it for. So you can certainly use it for content research, to plan out your content, to create various types of content, whether it's actually a video, which right now is maybe, a multitude of additional steps that you need to take in order for that to happen. But you certainly can do something with the audio overview that you're getting. And then you can ask it questions like maybe even, let's see, oops. So I'm asking, who would be the best audience for these videos and where can I find them online? Let's just see. All righty then. So again, some of the information that it's going to give you, especially if it's not located in the source, I think it's going to be fairly generic. So obviously, the best audience for these videos would be entrepreneurs interested in video marketing, particularly those who are struggling with video phobia. And then it explains why based on my resources. So again, this is why the resources doesn't just have to be yours. It could be, maybe there's some scientific paper that, I don't know if one exists, on video phobia as a topic. And maybe that might be able to give me some psychological insights into why people typically suffer from video phobia. Video phobia is sort of an urban word. It's not necessarily a term. I did not check to see if it's in Webster's, but last time I checked a number of years ago and it wasn't. So it may be by now, but certainly people that have video phobia are typically people that have imposter syndrome, that have various fears, like they have the fear of judgment or people being critical of them, of just showing up and being who they are, their authentic self, because they feel like they're going to be judged and all of that kind of stuff. And they just sort of, video phobia specifically are people who have a fear of being on camera for a lot of those types of reasons, like the imposter syndrome and being judged and things of that nature. Eager to leverage video for business growth. The sources emphasize. So again, this is pulling all of the information from the sources. So that's why it's important that you bring in, you have up to 50 source types that you can bring in, that you can get information in order for you to make these assessments. So for me, my judgment on Notebook.lm is that it is a tool that you can certainly use, even if you are someone that is primarily interested in video marketing, video creation. I think that there are definitely ways that you can utilize this tool so that it can help you create content much more easily and much more effectively. You know what resources it's going to be pulling the content from. So you're not relying on like a ChatGPT where you have to be concerned. You do need to be aware that obviously, in addition to the sources, they are sort of filling in, because that's what AI is. AI is filling in and making assumptions on things. So there might be some verbiage in here that you wouldn't necessarily have found in your source. So you do need to be conscious of it. I just think that it's more true to who you are, or to the content that you're expecting based on the fact that you're providing it with the sources, but you still need to be aware that it may produce inaccurate information. So with any of these platforms, you never take it as is and put it online, as tempting as it may be. But the last way that I would use it, if you wanted to, let me see if I can find a way to do this. And this is through getting a summary from a YouTube video. So YouTube does have that capability where you can get summaries. Like I know ChatGPT has a whatchamacallit. It has a plugin that you can use. I'm going to try and see if I can get a link from a video right now. And so I'm going to come back out here and I'm going to open up a new one. And I'm going to upload or use a YouTube link. So I'm going to paste this in here. And this should hopefully, the transcript's not available. So I'm presuming then that this is only available. I'm glad that I tried this. This would only be available if you had access or if that particular video had a transcript. Now they do, like I mentioned, ChatGPT has a plugin that you can use. And I know for me, it is sometimes really kind of funky where I have to do it. I have to click on it twice. But essentially what it does is that the plugin allows you to get a summary, a 5 bullet point summary of the YouTube video. I don't know if this necessarily only works on certain types of videos or if it works on all, because when I've used it, it has worked. Like I just took the video that that I just did right now, and it's doing it. So this has the transcript. Now, this kind of sort of defeats the purpose if I have to copy this and put it into the notebook here, because it should have done it. So if I'm doing that as a resource guide, I should be able to, let's just get rid of this. Remove source, delete. I'm going to play around with that some more though. So let's say, write a short, oh, actually it is doing a summary here. But perhaps you might want to ask it different questions. Maybe there might be some other better questions that you might want to be able to ask. So these are, it was 8 tools that it was featuring. And so, yeah, it breaks down and gives you a summary of what all of those tools are. So you can now even ask it more information. What type of information does My Lens provide about, is My Lens one of them? Yes. So let's ask that question. And again, if you do not save the note, it's going to be removed if you get out of this notebook, and you want to definitely come up here and name it too. My Lens is a tool that allows you to summarize. Okay. So you can get this kind of information, but right now, I don't know why it didn't use that link when it plainly states that you can upload a YouTube video. So I will play around and see if it's certain, I don't know if every video automatically has an issue with Notebook, or if it's still, because Notebook is in the experimental phase, because obviously ChatGPT had no problem getting the transcript. And then you can see here that it gave its own summary, but note, this was a 5 bullet point. So it did not go into all 8 tools. So it only did 4 tools. So I'm presuming if I change this to 8, it would give me the 8 tools that it mentioned. But anyway, so that's it for Notebook LM. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this tool. Is this a tool that you're going to use moving forward for your research to help you in your business and whatever capability. And look, there are a lot of ways that people can use this. I'm just trying to figure out for myself what are the ways that I could use it for my business, being that I work in video and video marketing and video strategy. But I would love to hear the feedback from everybody else in reference to what their thoughts are on using it. And then also let me know in the comments if there are tools that you want me to feature. I think next week, what will I do? Next week is a toss-up. There is a new repurposing tool that I've been playing around with called Taja, which is sort of a competitor to Opus and Video.ai and all of those. So I might do that one next week. But you let me know as well. I want to hear from you guys what you would like to see me talk about. And hopefully you found this interesting. I do want this to be interactive. I want you to ask questions, ask me to do certain things so that, we can just play around with these tools. Some of these tools I'm going to be brand new to. Some of them I may be using currently, but I still want to explore them with you. So I hope you'll come and join me next week. And in the meantime, if you can just follow me on YouTube as well as on LinkedIn. Those are the two primary platforms. I'm occasionally on Facebook. I think this went live to Facebook as well. If you want to have any kind of help with YouTube and getting started with your video marketing for your business, please check out my digital course that you can see on the ticker down below. And then just come back here whenever you want, just to have fun with me. But I hope that you will subscribe to my channel and follow me on all of my platforms. All right, so until next time, take care and I'll see you later.